Shout out to Epic Cop Watch Transparency Canada. Hollywood Jones. Breaking the floor. What's up, bro? 1H, 1OH, what up, bro? Melissa S.
It's a very psychological thing that's happening here.
Edmund Peters, Susie Bachata, Edward Craig, what up, bro? My man Edward Craig in the house. Right. Look, Weymouth, UK. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Resistance. Back at you on this Easter Sunday. Shout out to everybody that's enjoying their Easter Sunday. Appreciate y'all making time to stop by. Got some interesting things going on. Body cam review right here, as y'all can see in front of y'all faces. Oh man, it's crazy. And also, we're going to get into the criminal past of our main man, Derek Chauvin. Yeah, he got some history going on with him. You know, this is not just an out-the-blue thing that happened with him and George Floyd. Yeah, he had a pattern that built up to it. So we're going to check it out. But first, let's get into this buttered up, soft version of this body cam footage of Jeremy S. Marr. That's the name of the person. And he died, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to spoil it for you right now. He died. He was murdered. Okay? Jeremy S. Marr out of Glasgow, Kentucky. Check out the buttered version first.
Instead offers customized services from personal care to
Give me 1 second, let that commercial go through. Shout outs to Dreamland Moore, Free Thinker 59, Roasted Studios. What's going on?
The attorneys is speaking out for the first time. A warning, we're resurfacing video from the scene that may be difficult for some viewers to watch. Kelly D has the story.
This video obtained in 513 News shows.
Let me know if I got some lagging going on, because I'll skip this and just go straight to the hard copy.
Glasgow police officers on the morning of April 14th, 2020. Police initially said Jeremy Marr was trying to break into a house on Cleveland Avenue. When officers arrived, a new statement from the city's attorney.
All right, we're going to go straight to the hard copy. I apologize about that. A little lagging on my part, but it's not over with. We're just going to go to the hard copy right here. This is Jeremy S. Marr, ladies and gentlemen. Glasgow, Kentucky. Okay, the man was murdered, in my opinion. Let's check it out.
Come here. I'm not going to hurt you. Come here. All right, come here. No one's going to hurt you. Come here. All right, put your shoes on. Put your shoes on. You got any weapons on you?
No, sir. I got a knife in my pocket. It's nothing. It's got a
Don't pull it out.
Please don't hurt me. Please don't do it.
Nobody's not hurting you. What's your name?
My name's Trevor Marr.
Alright, what's going on? Don't put me in
I'm
your life.
sorry, I ain't do nothing wrong. I ain't do nothing like that. People try to get me. I'm not high. I'm none of those things. Like I left my house and stuff to my girlfriend's. Please don't let him kill me, man. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Nobody's gonna hurt you, dude.
You should be the house right next to the
Please, please don't. Don't mad at me, man.
Alright.
I really do got the.
Are you on medication?
No.
Who's hurting you?
Like I got people like me and stuff, man. I'm not hallucinating. I'm not doing those things. Just don't let nobody do nothing to me, man.
Oh, just go ahead and sit right there in my bunk.
Please don't do this to me. I'm about to.
Nobody's gonna hurt you.
You can see me, man. Please.
Nobody's gonna hurt you. Go ahead and sit on my bunk.
Please don't make me sit on your bumper, please.
Why not?
Because, man, I'm telling you, motherfuckers will follow me. I'm not high. I'm not.
You got two officers right here. Nobody's gonna hurt you. I got stand
I don't
over there.
trust anybody, man.
Okay.
I don't. Please, sir, don't do this. I don't want to be hurt.
Okay, just stay right here. You said you had a knife on you?
Yes, sir.
Nobody's gonna hurt you. Go ahead and sit on my bunk.
Please don't make me sit on your. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Nobody's gonna hurt you, dude.
You should be the
So we can see the man is clearly in fear. Probable cause, I don't see it yet. Now they do have footage. If you see those electrical tower things right there in the distance, there is milestone footage of him running across the road into a field and onto this property. But it doesn't show him doing anything felonious. So the cops catch up with him, and he's in total fear. He does admit that he has a knife on him, and they search him and everything. They never pulled a knife out, but the man is begging for his life, asking him, please don't hurt him, please don't kill him.
You should be the house right next to the
Please don't. Don't mad at me, man.
Alright.
I really do got the.
Are you on medication?
No.
Who's hurting you?
Like I got people like me and stuff, man. I'm not hallucinating. I'm not doing those things. Just don't let nobody do nothing to me, man.
Oh, just go ahead and sit right there in my bunk.
Please don't do this to me. I'm about to.
Nobody's gonna hurt you.
People can see me, man. Please.
Nobody's gonna hurt you. Go ahead and sit on my bunk.
Please don't make me sit on your bumper, please.
Why not?
Because, man, I'm telling you, motherfuckers will follow me. I'm not high.
Now, I gotta admit, something is really strange with this dude. Okay? He ain't playing with a full deck at this moment. At that moment, he's not playing with a full deck, but I don't see no reason for the man to get killed.
You got two officers right here. Nobody's gonna hurt you. I got stand
I don't
over there.
trust anybody, man.
Okay.
I don't. Please, sir, don't do this. I don't want to be hurt.
Okay, just stay right here. You said you had a knife on you?
Yes, sir. I don't want anything to happen to me, man. He's got to hold my jacket. He's got to hold my jacket, man. Don't do this to me, please.
Calm down.
Y'all. Please don't do this. No, I don't deserve it, man. I don't deserve it, man.
Very, very healthy plan.
Please don't do this to me. I don't deserve it, man. I don't deserve it.
Okay.
Please don't. I'm sorry, sir. Please don't want to kill me, man. Please don't do this to me, please.
Okay, you're too squirrely here, man. You're freaking us out.
Guys, yeah, I'll tell you, man.
At this point, they begin to put cuffs on him. The man said he had a knife on him, and as we've seen so far, he didn't recover a knife. He hasn't recovered a knife yet. He's all herky-jerky, he's paranoid, and he said he got a knife on him. So the police got to get the knife off of him. Understandable. So now they got to restrain him to the point to put cuffs on him. Let's see what else happens.
Everybody, man.
Okay.
I don't, please, sir, don't do this. No, I don't want to be, man.
Very, very healthy plan.
Please don't do this. I don't deserve it, man. I don't deserve it. Please don't. I'm sorry, sir. Please don't want to kill me, man. Please, sir, don't do this.
Oh, he did recover the knife. He just tossed it.
I don't deserve it. Please don't. I'm sorry, sir. Please don't want to.
Knife.
Please don't. I'm sorry, sir. Please don't want to.
Correction, not a knife. Credit card.
Please, sir, don't do this to me,
Okay,
please.
you're too squirrely here, man. You're freaking us out.
Guys, yeah, I'll tell you, man. I'm please don't do this to me, guys. Don't do this to me, please. I don't deserve it either. Please don't.
So at this point, I see that they're putting cuffs on him. I guess because they didn't recover the knife, and he also was found on private property. Although he wasn't caught for being on private property, he was found on private property, and he admitted he had a knife. There's a little understanding there on why the police officer would detain him in handcuffs, at least to recover the knife.
Don't kill me, y'all. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Sorry, y'all. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Please, y'all. Don't hurt me. I'll stop. Stop.
Now, this is where the situation changes and gets crazy. Pay attention.
Please don't kill me.
Once again, this is the killing of Jeremy S. Marr out of Glasgow, Kentucky. This is the murderous scene that went down not too long ago. And it's just one of many that goes down all across the face of America.
Taser, down. Stop moving. Put your hands on your back. Hands on your back.
As you hear the tasing ticking away, what you don't see, and what I tried to show you a few minutes earlier in the other footage, is the officer repeatedly kneeing him on the side, as hard as a motherfucker.
Put your hands on your back. You don't get it again.
Put your hands on your back.
Tasing away, and mind you, he's handcuffed. Doesn't this look a little similar of a man who was handcuffed and was receiving top tier excessive force? Correction, he's not handcuffed. They trying to get him handcuffed, but he is subdued to the point where he's laying flat on the ground. I believe 3 officers are present. One who's tasing him at this exact moment. One who has his nuts on his neck. And another who's onlooking.
Gotta do it again, right?
Constant tasing. Continuous tasing.
Hands on your back. Stop moving around.
What the fuck is going on? Shout out to Joby Smith, 6th Estate, Arizona. Johnny F. Face. Do y'all see this shit? Constant tasing. I counted at least a minute and a half of continuous tasing of that ass. They got 3 officers. He's laid flat on the ground. Never appeared to be violent. Shout out to Wolfie Gladley, accountability inspector. This shit is crazy. All across America. You can pick any city, any town, and you'll find this shit going down.
Taser.
He's calling for more tasing.
Put your hand on your back.
We're fighting.
Get back to that. You want to change point now, copy?
Shout out to Spooky Press on Free.
Put your hands on your back. You're going to get zapped again. Move them now. Do it. I hear okay, but you're not moving.
Pay attention to the groans. Listen how the groans gets weaker. Shout outs to Johnny F. Face. Good looking out, bro. Backup is on the way to continue killing this motherfucker. Shout outs to Robert Reed. Wake up America. Thanks for joining.
Go ahead and pull the same hand as that. I got one cup on that hand. Put it back here. There's some shackles in the back of my car. Can you get those? There's some shackles in the back of my car. They're hanging.
He's asking for shackles now. After at least 3 minutes of continuous tasing of that ass, now he wants shackles.
Shut up, mate.
And it's funny that he accidentally got tased. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy S. Marr, Glasgow, Kentucky, was murdered.
Hanging.
Shut up, mate.
He tased the shit out of me.
Did that zap you one time?
Yeah.
They're hanging on the hook right there.
Jeremy S. Marr, Glasgow, Kentucky. Let's take it to the print. New details alleged in Jeremy Marr death as attorney speaks out. And this is ABC 13 WBKO. That's out of, I believe, out of Glasgow, Kentucky, or the surrounding area. So, 13 News has learned more information about the death of a man in Glasgow following a recent lawsuit. And now one of the attorneys is speaking out for the first time. The estate of Jeremy Marr, who died while in police custody, has filed a lawsuit against the city of Glasgow, Glasgow Police Department, and 3 police officers. A video obtained by 13 News shows Glasgow officers on the morning of April 14, 2020. This was before the George Floyd incident. The video appears to show officers repeatedly kneeing Marr on the side. Police initially said Marr was trying to break into a house on Cleveland Avenue in Glasgow, but from the other footage that was shown, it didn't show that. It actually showed him running towards a house, and in his process of running, he ran across the road and onto the property of where a house was located. And eventually, that's where the police caught up with him at. The video appears to show officers repeatedly kneeing Marr on the side. That's the other footage I was trying to show you that wouldn't play. But it definitely shows the officer repeatedly kneeing him on his side in his rib cage area. According to a new statement from the city's attorney, Matt Cook, when officers arrived, Marr reportedly stated he had a knife, was acting paranoid, and then resisted. A lot of the video that was taken by independent witnesses at the scene is pretty telling, said David Broderick, who is representing Marr's estate. Authorities said Marr had a medical episode while being placed under arrest and have disclaimed that their actions caused his death. This sounds familiar, doesn't it? Seems like a pattern that they plan to use. This suit is broad because we think the police officers absolutely used unreasonable force, that the force within a short period of time caused the death of Jeremy Marr, said Broderick. Broderick is representing Marr's estate on behalf of his wife and daughter and says that evidence indicates Marr was tasered up to 11 times over the course of a few minutes. There's a serious issue about the use of tasers in this case. Broderick claims national cases made public over the year align with this one. Other cases involving excessive use by police officers have exasperated the situation because those situations very unfortunately are consistent with our situation here. Meanwhile, Cook says after Marr resisted arrest, he was eventually subdued with non-deadly force and handcuffed. Kentucky State Police and the special prosecutor found no wrongdoing by the Glasgow officers, of course. Broderick responded to that portion of the statement and said the case was never presented to a grand jury. Cook's full statement regarding the allegations can be read below. On the morning of April 14, 2020, Glasgow Police Department was dispatched to a residence in response to a call from an elderly female resident who stated that an unknown male had entered her home without permission. Upon arrival at the scene, the suspect responded that he was carrying a knife and appeared erratic, agitated, and paranoid. The responding officers attempted to calm the suspect and de-escalate the situation. The suspect, Jeremy Marr, did not comply with police commands. Mr. Marr also became combative and resisted arrest. Mr. Marr was eventually subdued with non-deadly force and handcuffed. Mr. Marr subsequently experienced a medical event. You hear that? This is why I'm reading this, to show y'all the pattern of what they use. Shout outs to Johnny F. Face. I appreciate you for looking out. But this is why I read this, is to highlight the patterns of what the police departments across the country say after they kill a motherfucker, okay? This is what they do. They say, they blame it on the suspect and say he had a medical incident going on along with while the arrest was going on. This is what they do, okay? He experienced a medical event, emergency. Medical personnel attended to him and transported him to the hospital where he later passed away. Well, if you ask me, I think the motherfucker died on scene because, see, I always listen. You know, just like George Floyd, he was very vocal when he first got slammed to the ground and was handcuffed to the back. He was saying, I can't breathe, my stomach hurt. He was saying all that kind of stuff, right? If this video, I'm gonna run this video back again, but in this video, you can hear him, that's what I was telling y'all, pay attention to the groans. And then all of a sudden, you don't hear anything. So I believe the motherfucker's soul came up out of him right then and there. That's where they killed him at, all right? And then the motherfucking other police officer had a nerve, shouts to Lake Speed. The other police officer had a nerve to laugh about the situation because he got accidentally tased as they was killing the motherfucker. Well, this motherfucker died, and you laughing because you got accidentally tased? Come on, man. So that's the print. Once again, ABC 13 WBKO. And, that was their little article on the situation. But I'm going to go back to the video, run it back one more time for y'all. For everybody who just came in, let me look at the chats real quick. Shout outs to Lake Speed. Once again, Wolfie Gladly, Johnny F. Face, Spooky Press on Free, OG Perfect Sense. Appreciate y'all. Free Thinker 59. I see y'all. All right, we want to go back to the video again, man. So we read the print. Let me see if I can pull that other angle of the footage. It's not going to play, y'all. I keep trying to play this joint.
Nat Cook says Marr stated he had a knife.
And it keeps stopping.
Was acting paranoid and then resisted arrest.
A lot of the video that was taken by independent witnesses at the scene.
How about I try it another way real quick? Give me a second, y'all. I'm going to try it another way. I want y'all to see this other angle of this police officer repeatedly kneeing him on the side in his rib cage. I mean, it was crazy. Let's see if I can do that. So this is footage of him running towards where the police officers met him. This is him right here running. You can see, if you can see my cursor, you can see a figure of a person running across, and he's wanting to eventually run across the road. This is him right here. He ran across the road. And then he eventually ends up at the on the private property of that home where the police met him. I can't get the other footage though. All right, I'm gonna run the hard copy body cam footage back just for y'all to observe again and corroborate what was read in the print to the video.
One was after 1097.
Give me 1 second, y'all.
That's a negative on it to 97.
Marr, I broke contact with her. I thought you were on station.
That was 1109, correct?
It's nothing. It's got to go.
Don't pull out.
Please don't hurt me, please.
I'm out with it. Hotline. All right, come here. No one's gonna hurt you. Come here. All right, put your shoes on. Put your shoes on.
Don't hurt me, man.
You got any weapons on you?
No, sir. I got a knife in my pocket. It's nothing. It's got to go.
Shout out Joe
Please
Cool.
don't hurt me. Please don't do it.
Nobody's gonna hurt you. What's your name?
My name's Trevor Marr.
All right, what's going on? Don't put me in your
I'm
body.
sorry. I ain't do nothing wrong. I ain't do nothing like that. People try to get me. I'm not high. I'm none of those things. Fucking all that my house is done. My girlfriend's. Please don't let him kill me, man. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Nobody's gonna hurt you, dude.
You should be the house right next to the house.
Please don't. Oh, they're so mad at me, man.
All right.
I really do got the
Are you on medication?
No.
Who's hurting you?
Like I ask people like me and stuff, man. I'm not hallucinating. I'm not doing those things. Just don't let nobody do nothing to me, man.
Oh, just go ahead and sit right there in my bunk.
Please don't do that to me, about.
The very people he's begging for his life to not let anything happen to him are the very ones that murdered him.
Bro,
No, it's not hurt
people to see me, man. Please.
Nobody's gonna hurt you. Go and sit on my bunk.
Please don't make me sit on your brother, please.
Why not?
Because, man, I'm telling you, motherfuckers will follow me. I'm not high. I'm not.
You got two officers right here. Nobody's gonna hurt you. Why don't you stand over there?
trust anybody, man.
Okay.
I don't want please, sir. Don't do this. I don't want to be hurt.
Okay, just stay right here. You said you have a knife on you?
Yes, sir. He's got to hold my jacket. He's got to hold my jacket, man. Don't do this to me. Please.
Calm down.
Y'all. I don't deserve it, man. I don't deserve it, man.
Very healthy and well.
I don't deserve it, man. I don't deserve it. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Please don't kill me, man. Please, sir, don't do this to me, please.
Okay, you're too squirrely here, man. You're freaking us out.
Guys, yeah, I'll tell you, man. I had people take complete stuff away from me, guys. Don't do this to me, please. I don't deserve it. You're on the way. I don't deserve it. Please, y'all. Yeah, please, man. Don't kill me, y'all. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
Good, you're out.
Sorry, y'all. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Please, y'all. I don't deserve it. I will stop. I will stop. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I don't want to kill me. No, please don't kill me. I'm sorry.
Taser, down. Stop moving. Put your hands on your back. Hands on your back.
Stop moving, stop moving. Put your hands behind your back. When they already had him subdued on the ground and he's begging, please don't kill me. And he haven't showed an inch of violence.
Put your hands on your back. You're gonna get it again.
Put your hands on.
Hands on your back.
Pay attention to how vocal he is. Pretty soon, all that vocalism is going to fade away.
Now do you down, better stop. Right? Hands on your back. Stop moving.
Continuous tasing. And I wish I was able to show y'all the other footage of when he was continuously kneeing him in the rib cage. But continuous tasing. Notice throughout the whole video, all you keep hearing is a the tasing. Shout out Chauvin'S Werner. Dreamland Moore.
Hands on your back. Gotta do it again, but stop. Right? Hands on your back. Stop moving around.
Pay attention to the groans. And then pay attention that he doesn't say anything anymore.
Taser.
Calling for more tasers.
Put your hand on your back. We'll fight
Groans are getting softer and softer.
Hands on your back. Can you move that for Put your hands on your back. You gotta get zapped again.
The Glasgow Police Department has found no wrongdoing of this act.
Move them now. Do it. I hear okay, but you're not moving.
Out on the streets, they call it murder. Shout out to We the People. Jeremy S. Marr out of Glasgow, Kentucky. Glasgow police murdered this man in broad daylight.
Go fight. Go ahead and pull the same hand as that. I got one cup on that hand. Get back here. There's some shackles in the back of my car.
Check out his face. He like, what the fuck is going on here? He like, whoa, this shit don't look too cool.
There's some shackles in the back of my car. Can you get those? There's some shackles in the back of my car.
But yet and still, he follows orders.
They're hanging.
Tight as shit up, like.
Because
You guys shut up, man. You guys shut up, man.
because that's one time.
Yeah, you can't make it. So, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Please don't do this to me, man. Please, sir, don't do this to me, please.
You're too squirrely here, man. You're freaking us all.
Guys, yeah, I'll tell you, man. I think please don't do this to me, guys. Don't do this to me, please. I don't deserve it. You're going away. I don't deserve it. Please, y'all. Yeah, please, man. Don't kill me, y'all. Don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
Here you are.
Sorry, y'all. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Please, y'all. I don't deserve it. I won't stop. I'll stop. I'll stop. Don't go in. Don't go in. Don't stop. Please don't kill me. I'm sorry.
Taser, down. Stop moving. Put your hands on your back. Hands on your back. Put your hands on your back. You're doing it again. Hands on your back. Now do it again, but stop.
Constant tasing.
Hands on your back. Stop moving around.
The whole time the man is saying, please don't kill me. Please don't hurt me.
Taser. Get down there.
Put your hand on your back.
We'll fight him. Hands on your back. Can you move that, bro? Put your hands on your back. You're gonna get zapped again. Move them now. Do it. I hear okay, but you're not moving.
More backup is on the way.
Don't fight. Go ahead and pull the same kind of that. I got one cup on that hand.
Cut it back here.
There's some shackles in the back of my car. Can you get those? There's some shackles in the back of my car. They're hanging.
I just shut up, right?
Did that zap one time?
Yeah.
Right?
At this point, you hear nothing else from Jeremy S. Marr.
Hanging on the hook right there.
Not a sound. All across America, ladies and gentlemen, it's happening right in front of our faces. It's the resistance. I'm going to show y'all this shit every day. And hopefully, we're going to get so sick and tired of this shit that we're going to band together and create a stop to this shit. It's the whole point. Moving on, another news. Review of Derek Chauvin's criminal history. Let's get into it. Derek Chauvin. He was born on March 19th, 1976. Education, Metropolitan State University. And of course, he's known for the killing of George Floyd. He also has a military career, served in the United States Army from 1996 to 2004. He's an American former police officer known for the involvement of George Floyd's killing. He was born in 76. His mother was a housewife and his father was a certified public accountant. At the age of 7, his parents divorced and were granted joint custody of him. Chauvin attended Park High School in Cottage Grove, Minnesota. But he did not finish and later obtained a GED certificate. He earned a certificate in quantity food preparation at Dakota County Technical College and worked jobs as a prep cook at McDonald's and a South Metro buffet restaurant. He served in the United States Army Reserve from 96 to 2004, including 2 stints in the military police between 96 and 2000. During that time, he also attended Inver Hills Community College from 95 to 99 and later transferred to Metropolitan State University, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in law enforcement in 2006. Chauvin has 18 complaints on his official record, 2 of which ended in discipline, including official letters of reprimand. He had been involved in 3 police shootings, one of which was fatal. According to the former owner of El Nuevo Rodeo, a Latin nightclub, Chauvin had worked there off-duty as security while George Floyd was also working as security, but was not certain whether they knew each other. The owner has been critical of Chauvin since his arrest, describing Chauvin's tactics as overkill and saying Chauvin was unnecessarily aggressive on nights when the club had black clientele, quelling fights by dousing the crowd with pepper spray and calling in several police squad cars as backup. Okay? This is why I read y'all this shit, because it shows the pattern. Remember, as he had his knee on George Floyd's neck, he also put his hand on his pepper spray to deter the bystanders from begging him not to kill him. So, The owner also said Chauvin responded to fights by spraying the crowd with mace instead of dealing with those who were fighting. All right, so that's one piece of history that we've learned about Derek Chauvin, that he likes to pull his mace. And not only is it reported that he done that in the nightclub, but he did that also at the scene when he was trying to kill George Floyd, when he did kill George Floyd. So let me get into a video real quick that I thought was interesting. This is by American Wounds. Okay. This dude, he has 15.7 thousand subscribers. See if I can blow that up for y'all. Hopefully y'all can see that. That says American Wounds. That's the channel of the video I'm about to play. Has 15.7 thousand subscribers, and this video has 760,000 views. I'm gonna get into this real quick. It was real interesting. One second, ladies and gentlemen.
We're so outstanding. I don't know how we're going to beat that here, but we're going to try. Please state your name and your wife's name and where you're from, sir. I'm Derek Chauvin, and my outstanding wife is Kelly Chauvin. This is Oakdale, Minnesota.
Every year in America, officers of the law kill over 1,000 U.S. citizens. 99% of these killings don't result in the officer being charged with a crime. But the numbers only
shout outs Level Wise to see.
Tell one side of the story, so we read the other. Welcome to American Wounds. This is episode 1 of the Kill. Please stand.
What a beautiful family. I'm glad. I don't know how we're going to.
The badge to tell the harrowing story of a killer cop named Derek Chauvin. As the nation erupted over the tragic death of George Floyd, R.I.P., it would take days of protest before charges were filed against Derek Chauvin. Most of the details surrounding both the case and the man responsible remain cloaked in mystery. This is what we know. At 44 years of age, Derek Chauvin is a 19-year veteran of the Minneapolis Police Department, dedicating nearly half his life to the force. Derek began his career in blue at the Minneapolis, Minnesota Police Academy in October of 2001. Here, he would graduate and take an oath to serve mankind, safeguard lives and property, protect the innocent.
Notice there goes the oath right there. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution, my community, and the agency I serve. And that's the oath that every officer in this country takes before serving one shift of time as a police officer. That's the oath that they take.
Deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, the peaceful against violence or disorder, while respecting the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice, as stated in the Minneapolis Police Department Code of Conduct. Derek was hired full-time by the Minneapolis Police Department in 2003. Minneapolis City Council records show that over his 19-year career, Derek worked in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th precincts, as well as serving on the waterworks security detail for the Minneapolis Police Department. On top of his work for the MPD, Derek also moonlighted as a bouncer at a Latin nightclub called El Nuevo Rodeo on Lake Street in Minneapolis' downtown. According to the nightclub's owner, Derek had held shifts on and off since the nightclub opened over 17 years prior. In 2010, after 9 years in the force, Derek married his wife, Kelly Chauvin'S. Since then, the couple have lived together in Oakdale, Minnesota, a suburb of St. Paul on the east side of the Twin Cities metropolitan area. Derek isn't the only Minneapolis police officer to live outside the city itself. In 2014, the Minnesota Post reported that 94% of the Minneapolis police force was living outside of the city at the time. This meant that the MPD had one of the lowest residency rates of any major police force in the U.S. The article found a correlation between the MPD's low residency rate and their issues with diversity on the force, and whether this had an effect on how the citizens of Minneapolis were being perceived and policed.
So Oakdale is Minneapolis cop land. Every city, every town has a cop land where all the cops reside at.
In our own city. Throughout their marriage, both Derek and Kelly worked in and around the real estate sector. Both have their real estate license. However, Derek's is currently inactive. A spokeswoman for a Minnesota realty group said that Derek had worked as an independent contractor as recently as 2019. At this time, there is still little to be known of Derek's personal life. Whenever an officer is involved in a publicized incident, the internet is combed through to remove any photos and personal information of the officer. However, coincidentally, Derek's wife Kelly was the subject of a profile piece in the St. Paul Pioneer Press after winning the title of Mrs. Minnesota in 2008.
Shout out to Lake Speed. Lake Speed, his wife divorced him soon after he killed George Floyd. I've read a report earlier that she stated she still fears for her life, even almost a year later after she divorced him. She didn't state any specific reasons why she feared for her life, but she did state that in a report that I read. But this is his wife. She's from Laos, and they met as he was bringing somebody into the hospital, a victim, and that's how they met, and eventually they married. But they are divorced now. She divorced him shortly after he killed George Floyd.
Kelly was born in Laos and was the first Hmong woman to win the title. She told the Pioneer that Derek had introduced himself at the hospital she was working at when he brought in an injured suspect he'd arrested earlier that day. Kelly went on to say about her husband, quote, "Under all that uniform, he's just a soft. He's such a gentleman. He still opens the door for me. Still puts my coat on for me." End quote.
You know, I wonder how true all that is, you know. In the beginning, I'm pretty sure he was that guy, but I would love to hear if there were any kind of domestic abuse going on. And she's keeping her mouth closed. But I'm pretty sure she's going to say something when this is all over with.
While we may not know much about Derek's personal life, what we do know about his past on the force would suggest he was anything but soft. After killing George Floyd on Memorial Day, Derek's 19-year career has been the subject of much investigation and debate. Several publicly recorded incidents of violence, as well as habitual marks of misconduct, begin to paint a portrait of controversy. But before making your judgment, let's take a look at each case on the record. Derek's history of violence began only a few years after entering the force. On April 24, 2005, Derek and his partner Terry Nutter were involved in a dangerous high-speed car chase when a suspect they were pursuing slammed his vehicle into another car. Two occupants of the civilian vehicle, Darwin Bavar, age 28, and Clayvar Jacob, age 35, were killed instantly from the impact. The third occupant, Everett Bavar, age 35, would die a few days later in the hospital from injuries sustained in the accident.
So this is him, his officer in a high-speed chase. This is him and his partner in a high-speed chase, chasing 3 occupants in the vehicle, and impacted them with an accident and killed all three of them.
Both Derek and his partner Terry were cleared of any wrongdoing, despite high-speed police pursuits being the subject of controversy and hot debate at the time. In fact, 15 years after Derek's high-speed chase ended in the tragic loss of 3 young lives, the Minneapolis Police Department decided in the summer of 2019 to implement new rules limiting when and how officers could pursue a suspect. Perhaps such a law could have saved 3 innocent lives had it been enacted sooner. It was only...
See, what y'all got to understand is Chauvin is a veteran. 19 years in the force, started out in the early 2000s. He was doing things back then that was acceptable with the high-speed chases and stuff. And even though they were wrong on how they did those things, he's from the old school, and he's a bad apple from the old school. And he knows all the tricks and the trades to apprehend suspects and how to get them. And, you know, he was violent. He has a history of violence as well.
1 year after the fatal crash that Derek would be involved in his first police shooting, a dramatic incident that resulted in the death of one Wayne Reyes. In 2006, Derek was among a group of 6 MPD officers who responded to reports that Wayne Reyes had stabbed both his girlfriend and another man inside an apartment. When the officers arrived, they assert that Wayne fled the scene in a pickup truck where he was ultimately stopped several blocks away. The pickup was surrounded, and this was when the officers claimed that Wayne abruptly stepped out of the truck and pointed a sawed-off shotgun in their direction.
I've been looking for body cam footage on this, searching all around. I can't find no footage. I can't hardly even find an article of the situation other than this article right here of Wayne Reyes' daughter, you know, telling, you know, how much she suffered after losing her father.
All 6 officers, Dante Dean, Brian Graham, Sean Kelly, Oscar Messias, Terry Nutter, and Derek Chauvin immediately discharged their weapons on the truck, killing Wayne where he stood. The gunshots destroyed the truck and severely damaged the facade of a nearby building. In 2008, 2 years after the incident, a grand jury would determine that the officer's use of force was justified in the killing of Wayne Reyes. Wayne was 42 years old at the time of his death. In the same year that Reyes was killed, Chauvin and 7 other officers were named in a federal lawsuit. The suit was filed by John Otto Randall, an inmate at the Minnesota Correctional Facility at Lino Lakes, but was ultimately dismissed without prejudice later that year. Despite Derek's record of incidents on force, the MPD awarded him a Department Medal of Valor in 2008 for his response to an incident involving a man armed with a gun. He would be recognized by the department the following year as well. Less than 2 years after the Reyes incident, in the spring of 2008, Derek would be involved in his second on-duty shooting, this time the lone gunman. Just after 2 a.m. early in the morning on May 24th, Derek responded to it.
So this is his second shooting. The first one was Wayne Reyes, who was murdered. His bullets were shot along with 5 other officers' bullets, and you could hear the man explain that it damaged the truck and destroyed the side of a building. So that's clearly excessive force before those shots fired. So this is the second person that he shot, and he was by himself in this situation.
911 call requesting assistance on in-action domestic
Shout out to Keith Carlson, Eddie Motto.
assault occurring in the Phillips neighborhood just south of Minneapolis' downtown. Derek and his partner forced their way into the apartment and confronted the suspect, 21-year-old Ira Latrell Toll, whose partner and mother of his child had made the call. A Twin Cities Pioneer Press article reported off NPD statements at the time said that Ira, quote, ran from the officers as soon as they got inside, but they caught him and tried to subdue him. In the struggle, Tolles grabbed at one of the officers' guns, end quote. This is when Chauvin fired his weapon, hitting Ira in the torso and nearly ending his life. Recently, the Daily Beast interviewed Ira Toles, who contradicted the NPD statements. Ira would admit to the Daily Beast that the mother of his child had indeed called the police that night, but said he'd been surprised when two officers had barged into the house unannounced. Ira said, quote, "When I saw that Chauvin breached the front door, I ran to the bathroom. Then Chauvin starts kicking in that door," end quote. Ira would go on to say that Chauvin broke into the bathroom and started hitting him without warning, to which Ira returned with blows of his own because, quote, "My natural reaction to someone hitting me is to stop them from hitting me. All I could do was assume it was the police because they didn't announce themselves or ever give me a command. I didn't know what to think when Chauvin started hitting me. I swear he was hitting me with a gun," end quote. Despite his severe injuries, Ira would be taken to the Hennepin County Medical Center, where he learned that Chauvin had shot him at such close range that the bullet went through his groin and came out of his left butt cheek before hitting the bathroom wall. Ultimately, Ira would survive, but he was left with a lifelong reminder in the form of a hole that remained so large he could stick a finger inside it to this day. Ira claims that he has no memory of being shot and definitely has no memory of reaching for a gun. In the same Daily Beast article, he goes on to say, quote, "If Chauvin's first reaction was hitting me in the face, that means I can't see and I'm too disoriented to first locate his gun and then try to take it from him. And for what? To turn a misdemeanor, disorderly situation into a felony situation that could have resulted in me dying," end quote. Ira would finish the Daily Beast article by saying, quote, "He tried to kill me in that bathroom. I knew he would do something to get me. I wish we had smartphones back then," end quote. Derek would be placed on a standard 3-day leave for his roles as gunman, but he was quickly brought back on the force without any charges or public punishment whatsoever. It wasn't until 2011 that Derek would be involved in his third shooting while in uniform. This incident occurred near the Little Earth United Tribes public housing complex south of Minneapolis and downtown. Little Earth is an affordable housing community that gives preference to American Indians. A police report states that just before 11:15 p.m., Derek and longtime partner Terry Nutter, the same man that had been involved in at least 2 of Derek's violent encounters, responded to the report of a shooting alongside officers Steve Herron, Brandon Brugger, and Gwen.
Shout outs to Sandy Dobby
And Gunter. When they arrived on the scene, they found 23-year-old suspect Leroy Martinez running away from them on foot. In the official report, the officers assert that Leroy was running with a pistol in his hand. As officers chased him
Shout out BX Trust
down, they claim to have repeatedly yelled for him to drop the gun. When he refused, one of the officers fired on Leroy, striking and wounding him. The official statement from then Police Chief Tim Dolan was that the officers, including Chauvin, quote, "acted appropriately and courageously." Despite the police chief's co-sign of the official report, a local resident of the Little Earth community, Delora Iceman, contradicted the officer's statements. The eyewitness claimed that she saw Leroy throw his gun to the ground and hold his hands in the air as he was told to do, when one of the officers shot him. Delora, who watched from her balcony, claimed the officers had no reason to shoot Leroy, who was treated for the bullet wound at the Hennepin County Medical Center, where he would eventually recover. A surveillance video of the shooting exists, according to official records, but the security camera may have been partially obstructed by a tree. A copy of the video was turned over to the police department, and all of the officers were put on standard 3-day administrative leave with no further charges or punishment of any kind. In addition to these 4 major incidents, online city records indicate that more than 18 official complaints were filed against Derek Chauvin during his 19 years on force. According to the watchdog group Communities United Against Police Brutality, during the nearly 2 decades that Derek was with the Minneapolis Police Department, he has been the subject of several internal complaints, including 2 letters of reprimand for unprofessional and dangerous behavior while on duty. In 3 separate reviews from the Civilian Review Authority, he was found to have used a, quote, demeaning tone and, quote, derogatory language. The subject of 7 reviews by the local Office of Police Conduct, and all concluded with, quote,
Well, that's more than what he did when he killed George Floyd, because he didn't show any emotion or make any sounds or say anything. So that's news to me. I didn't even think the motherfucker talked.
No other details were made available to the public. That concludes part 1 of Killer Cops, the story of Derek Chauvin. Now that we've led you through Chauvin's personal life, as well as his 19 years on the force, and part 2 will arrive at Memorial Day 2020, when Derek Chauvin will commit his most heinous act yet. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
All right, that's American Wounds. That's the name of the channel. You got more information on Derek Chauvin, of course, on the whole situation that happened last year. Go over there and subscribe. I'm gonna hit the like button. He has 15.7 thousand subscribers. Go over there and check him out. What did I want to do? Okay. Next up is it's an incident Derek Chauvin had with a minor. 1 second. Pull this up real quick. So there was footage from an incident in question that shows Chauvin and another officer responded to a domestic assault on September 4th, 2017, in which a mother said she was assaulted by her son and daughter, who were both minors. Shortly after arriving, the police officers found the son lying on the floor in the back of the house on his phone and ordered him to get up because he was under arrest. When he refused, Chauvin grabbed him and, without saying anything, struck the teen in the head with his flashlight and then grabbed him by the throat. This is why I read y'all this shit, to show y'all the pattern. If you remember, when they was trying to get George Floyd in the back seat, he had his arms around his neck, applying pressure to the throat, and George Floyd was, struggling to breathe. He was making all kinds of noises and shit. So when he refused, Chauvin grabbed him and, without saying anything, struck the teen in the head with the flashlight and then grabbed him by the throat before hitting him again with the flashlight. All of which occurred less than a minute after the officers first encountered the boy, prosecutors said. According to prosecutors, the video then showed Chauvin applying a neck restraint to the boy, who briefly went unconscious, and then placing him in a prone position with a knee in his back for about 17 minutes until paramedics arrived. Can't even find this video. I don't even know where to find it at. I've been looking all over. They said it's video of it. Chauvin held the position even after the child told him that he was in pain and couldn't breathe. And after the mother tried to intervene, prosecutors said. At one point, the boy started bleeding from his ear. He started bleeding from his ear from getting hit with the flashlight, he later told paramedics. And the boy asked to be put on his back because his neck really hurt. He then began crying and asked to be flipped over, prompting Chauvin to ask if the boy would be flopping around at all. No, the boy responded. Better not, Chauvin said, keeping his knee on the child's back. According to prosecutors, Chauvin's report from the incident suggested that the boy then displayed active resistance to efforts to take him into custody by flailing his arms around. He went on to write that the boy, whom he described as approximately 6'2" and at least 240 pounds, would escalate his efforts to not be arrested. And because of the boy's large size, Chauvin delivered a few strikes to the juvenile male to impact his shoulders and hopefully allow control to be obtained. Prosecutors say this account is contradicted by the body camera video, which I cannot find. Shouts to Jason Finch. As was true with the conduct with George Floyd, Chauvin rapidly escalated his use of force for a relatively minor offense. Just like with Floyd, Chauvin used an unreasonable amount of force without regard for the need for that level of force or the victim's well-being. Negligent. Frank wrote in the following: just like with Floyd, when the child was slow to comply with Chauvin and Wall's instructions, Chauvin grabbed the child by the throat, forced him to the ground in the prone position, and placed his knees on the child's neck with so much force that the child began to cry out in pain and tell Chauvin he could not breathe. And just like with Floyd, Chauvin ignored those pleas and refused to provide medical assistance. It's unclear whether a complaint was filed or an internal affairs investigation was launched stemming from the incident, but Chauvin's personnel file shows no discipline during that time frame. Earlier this month, Cahill ruled that the 4 former officers would be tried together in Hennepin County, rejecting the defense change of venue motion, arguing that the officers couldn't receive a fair trial in the county. This is an old article. This was written on November 18th, 2020. So disregard the part about earlier this month. But just another example and another show of Chauvin's pattern of his violence, and what his actual tactics are to subduing people beyond reasonable force. Okay. Twice already we hear that he uses his knee to put people down. He also goes for the throat. And a shocking news on this article is that he struck a juvenile with his flashlight. He was bleeding from the ear. So I just wanted to show y'all that, man, so y'all can see what's going on with this dude and how we already discussed last night how probably won't get no more than 12 and a half years, after hopefully he is found guilty and convicted. But even with the conviction, we've read and did the research that he really ain't going to do a whole bunch of time like we want him to do, or like we feel as though justice should be served upon him to do, which is a shame. But either way, I think it's going to be backlash. I think the country is going to receive backlash again. It's going to be a problem. Oh, listen, man, I appreciate all y'all who've been hanging out with me. Jason Finch, OG Perfect Sense, Wake Up America, BX Trust, Sandy Dobby, Spooky Press on Free. Appreciate y'all. I'll try to take y'all out with a video, one of my classics. Just give me a second.
I'm recording. I'm recording. Who are you? Badge number, please? Because you engaged me, so I need to identify you. How can I help you? You can't. I'm going to request that no racist, it's a felony. For journalism purposes. That's not true. That's not true. I'm not allowed to record anybody in a public view now. It's not right. Yes, sir. Sure, no problem. Let's get educated. Let's get educated, man.
Why would you want to do
Because
that?
I'm able to.
Why?
Because I'm able to. What's your name?
I'm not telling you my
What's your name?
videotaping our front door and
Police are educating this young lady right now.
You mean your cell phone number?
617.
Hold on. Not fast. Hold on. And this is your cell phone number. Now, Mina, you know I'm going to call you, right?
617.
Yes, sir.
857. EIGS.
Okay.
No, I didn't actually help you.
I you so you can explain something I can help you with.
No, I didn't ask for anybody's help.
Huh?
I didn't ask for anybody's help.
I know, but just concerned with what to do. Okay, we'll wait for you.
May I have your name, please? Well, you engaged me and you asked me questions. Are you of authority here?
Yes, I am.
You are? So you can tell me what to do?
I can ask you to leave on my
I
property.
mean, you can ask me to leave, but I'm not on your property. This is public property. This is a public sidewalk.
Okay, we'll just wait for this.
Y'all own the sidewalk right here?
We're gonna wait for this.
No, I was just asking, do you own the sidewalk?
We're gonna end
Well,
our
man, you
conversation.
engaged me, and I told you I didn't need your help, but you insisted on talking, so let's have a conversation.
If you're late. You guys are not supposed to videotape inside. Inside the bank, you can't do that. I just want to know, how does this benefit you?
Don't engage the camera. Don't ask me a question. Don't ask me a question. You won't be on camera. Do not engage the camera. Do not talk to me then, and you won't be on camera. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. That's unprofessional on the job, ma'am. That's unprofessional on the job. That's unprofessional. I'm gonna have to report you on that. I'm gonna have to report you. But you're on the clock. You're on the clock. You're on the clock. And I'm gonna be out here exercising my First Amendment right. So here's the tyrant security guard that works for Allied Security. She's jaywalking, officer. You allow that? You allow that so I can do it as well, right? It's got a tyrant security officer that works for Allied Security. I want you guys to call that company. For the Washington Essex building. Man, would you be able to help me? In regards to a report that was submitted by Sergeant Dars on Friday, I was attacked by a homeless person. My property was damaged, and I would like to know if that report was submitted. It happened between 3:30 and 3:45 on Friday.
I'm just gonna help this customer.
Nice, why? I'm next.
You might not be happy in a world style. What you doing? What you doing? See what you're doing.
Sorry, man.
Huh? All right, stop it, sir.
Name and badge, please.
Name and badge?
Yes.
I'm Officer Lahara, badge number 3456.
Thank you.
What's going on? We just got a call. Yeah.
Inside the branch, that branch.
Has he been inside?
No, it's keeping me for about 20 minutes.
Okay.
There's no way to do it.
Okay, and it's making you uncomfortable?
What's going on? He's the man.
So he's not on the sidewalk, I mean.
But it's the man. Don't miss your
All
call.
right, thank you. So what's going on?
I want to answer questions.
Okay, well.
Record.
I'm gonna call a cop.
I don't care. I'll wait for him.
Listen, okay, please.
No, you don't even. Right, so you can see me get locked up, right? That's what you want, right? You want me to go to jail, right? You want me to go to jail, right? Oh, you want me to go to jail because I'm disrespectful, right? You want me to go to jail because I'm disrespectful. And you want me to go to jail for that, right? And you want me to go to jail for that, right? Wow.
You love to cook, but it's hardly to snap.
I think you can be out here and do what y'all want to do. Huh? Why y'all think y'all can do what y'all want to do? You're supposed to uphold the law. I need your oath, officer. Look at these people walking around this vehicle. What if one of these buses' tires blew out and they had to get out the way? They couldn't because your vehicle's in the way. Then you're going to cost the city millions of dollars. Do you have any explanation for that?
Shout out Port Dirt Farmer.
No response, Thompson. You shame your department, Sergeant. You shame your department. And may I say this is live, so a lot of people will be seeing this. But no response, right? No response? You have no response?
You all done?
I don't have to be done. I don't have to be done. I can stand here as long as I want.
Good for you.
I can stand here as long as I want. Why do you think that you're above the law, officer? Huh? And we got it. Is this your vehicle impeding traffic? At the tow zone? You're illegally parked in the tow zone, right? You are illegally parked in the tow zone, right?
So what's the purpose of video though?
That's not your business, sir. That's not professional, ma'am. That's not professional. This lady right here, she performed the cam back. She's upset. How you doing? She's coming out for the police. Here we go. How you doing today, ma'am?
You're pretty disgusting.
You don't support the First Amendment? Freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion? Really? Nothing. There's nothing he can do about it. Nothing he can do about it. Okay, can I just ask you a question? What was your reason? I haven't committed a crime. What was your reasoning for finding out my name? What was the reason? Just an intimidation tactic that you were trying to use, right? But I'm gonna tell you like I told them at the Boston headquarters. If you want me to stop this, you have to put a bullet in my head.
I don't know, I wanted permission to invite someone from
to trump my wife. Y'all all done here? Y'all done here? I can worry about what you're doing. You're a public servant. You'll pay for it too, ma'am. You'll pay for it too.
You have a great day. And then we'll see you again, right?
You're so much more nicer to me than you was the first time. You had nothing to say the first time.
Of course not.
You had nothing to say. Now you have everything to say. Why is that? Why is that? You didn't want to have anything to do with me when you met me the
Why
first
are you
time.
asking me a question if you're not letting me answer?
Excuse me?
Why do you ask me a question if you don't let me
Because
answer?
I want to see how long you want to stand here and act like a fool in the clown suit that you're wearing.
You like it?
Not at all.
That's the problem, right?
Not at all.
You don't like it.
My problem is tyranny. That's my problem.
Wait a minute. I'm the best looking sweet flake on here. And I'm the best thing that the resistance ever been with. He knows.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna take y'all out with one more video. It's the resistance, man. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Give me 1 second. Video coming up.
Years ago, you would have handled it, right? In this day and age, there's cameras and recording. But back in the day, years ago, you would have handled it. You would have handled it, right? So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, so they just don't seem to get it. This is code 19 in progress, which is observation of traffic. But this code 19 doesn't require them to park on the pavement. Name and badge, officer. Name and badge. 5-1-6-7. You conducting code 19 right now? Yes, I am. I'm going to record this, okay? You should already have it on. Why didn't you turn your body camera off?
This dude calls backup already.
Why is your vehicle parked on the pavement? Oh, this is why you've been instructed by who? Yeah. Who? Right, and your supervisor is? Today? I am also supervisor. No, who's the supervisor that instructed you to park on the pavement? Who? I don't have a supervisor exact. I just do what I'm doing. So you were told to park on the pavement while conducting a code 19? You were told to park on the pavement while conducting a code 19. Sure. And you don't know who you were given those instructions by. I just follow my orders. Okay, you do know that a code 19 doesn't require you to park on the pavement, right? That's a.
Shouts to Free Thinker 59, Necessary Change 777, Scotsman Cooper, Amana Gold Trust.
It's illegal. If I park on that pavement right now, what will happen?
Crazy Fist.
Name and badge. I'm not talking to you. I just asked you name and badge. Is that what you tell the judge? Yep.
Loke Weymouth, UK.
Is that what you tell internal affairs? Yes, sir. You see the badge. That's what you tell internal affairs. You see the badge. Excuse me. It's part of your policies and procedures to give me your name once engaged. Excuse me? No, when you engage the public. When you engage the public, I don't have to. I need your name and badge, please. Let's start right there. What's your name? What's your name? So you're not going to give me a name. So I don't know if you're a police officer. You're dismissed. Get out my face. Get out my face. So, sir, I'm asking you to move that vehicle because you're not allowed to park on the pavement. You're not, excuse me, he's under Code 19. Code 19 does require him to park his car on the pavement. Call your supervisor. Did you call supervisor already? Is that your vehicle parked over here and no stopping, no standing? Is that the resistance? Is that your vehicle parked over there and no stopping and no standing? So you refuse to answer any questions, right? You're a public official and you refuse to answer questions, right? Excuse me? I'm asking you a question. Is that your vehicle parked over there? Is that your vehicle parked? I don't have to. I don't have to. You're the public servant. You work with me. You're supposed to answer my questions. You're supposed to work. You're supposed to answer my question. I'm asking you a question. Are you supervisor on duty, officer? Sergeant? Are you supervisor on duty? How you doing? Are you the supervisor on duty? Okay, he failed to address himself. He failed to give me his identification. Good for me. Which one call? Name and badge, please. Stopping the guy with 4355. Could you get this officer to identify himself, please? It's up to him? Wow. Could you get this car off the pavement, please? No. No. Why not? Why not? Back to this clown right here. Back to this clown. Is that your vehicle parked over there? Name and badge. Is that what you tell IA or the judge? Is that what you tell IA or the judge? May I have your name, please? Thank you. Is that your vehicle over there, parked over there, and no stopping, no standing? I just asked you a question. Is that your vehicle parked over there, and no stopping, no standing?
Got my name, you got my badge. What's your name? Very close. What's your name? No answer, no question. That's illegal. I'm asking for your name.
It's illegal for me not to answer questions? Well, I'm not giving it to you.
He told me it was illegal to not answer questions. Pay attention.
What's your name? Got my name, you got my badge. What's your name? Very close. What's your name? No answer, no question. That's illegal. I'm asking for your name.
It's illegal for me not to answer questions? Well, I'm not giving it to you. Now what you want to do? Now what you want to do? If it's illegal, what you want to do? Get out my face. Get out my face. Get out my face talking that dumb stuff. Get out my face talking that dumb. You engage me. You engage me. Who are you? Who are you? Are you a bootlicker? Because I'm recording the police. You got it.
Bootlicker alert.
Problem with me recording the police? That means you're a bootlicker.
A bootlicker? What's a bootlicker?
You.
Oh, put my picture in the dictionary as bootlicker. What would put your picture as that? As hanging out to the police? Video? Come around antagonizing me, I'm trying to do my job.
So let's get back to this illegalness that you was telling me that if I don't answer your questions, it's illegal. Oh, you don't want to talk now? 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 You ain't got nothing to say now, right? Years ago, what? Years ago, you would have handled it, right? In this day and age, there's cameras. You ain't got nothing to say now, right? Years ago, what? Years ago, you would have handled it, right? In this day and age, there's cameras and recording. But back in the day, years ago, you would have handled it. You would have handled it, right? So what's the reason why he's not able to move his vehicle? So what's the reason why he's not going to move that vehicle? This is the reason why police are corrupt. Because the tyrants start at the top and it trickles down to the bottom. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen, 9513. Did you lick his boot chat? You should. So let's get back to the... Did you lick his boot chat? You should. So let's get back to the illegal stuff you was talking about. That if I don't answer your questions, it's illegal. You want to talk about that? It's illegal if I don't answer your questions? And what law is that? Right, because you know you can. You know you can. You know you can. You just said it was illegal. That if I don't answer your questions, it's illegal. You don't know what you're talking about. How long you been on the force? How long you been on the force? You been a psychic valve lately? Have you been a psychic? Really? Have you been drinking? Have you been drinking? Have you been drinking alcohol? Huh? You got any legal firearms on you? Right, go ahead and walk off. Your business is done here. Your business is done here. You're dismissed. Telling me it's illegal not to answer your question. You sound like a fool. You sound like a fool. I'm telling you, you sound like a fool. And I'm telling you, you sound like a fool. You told me that if I don't answer your questions, it's illegal. What law is that? What law is that? What law is that? Huh? Why don't you go do some work? Dealing with you. Dealing with me? I'm not causing no problems. I'm not causing any problems. Why don't you do some work? I am. This guy, he keeps circling around me. We got two armed police. This one's talking trash, and this one keeps circling around me. Any reason why you keep circling around me, officer? Huh? It's all love, yo. It's not love, because you told me it was illegal if I didn't answer your question. That's a lie. How? What law is that? What law is that? I don't have to answer nothing you ask me. I ain't asking you nothing. You better refrain from it because you're not going to get no answers. I need it. What I need it for? If I need it, I will get it. Why would you ask me a question then? If I need it, I will. You already asked me. If I need it, you already asked me. You already asked me. You already asked me. Don't matter. I don't break no laws. I don't commit no crimes. I just hold you accountable. I hold you accountable. I hold you accountable. That's none of your business. That's none of your business. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Come on, keep bringing the content. Keep bringing it. Keep bringing the content. I'm going to come up film you as long as you have like a fool. Well, you told me that was
Shout out to Earl Pike. That's Dudley Station, Boston, Massachusetts.
Back to the original subject. I told you what you're acting like. I said what you're acting like. I told you what you're acting like. I said what you're acting like. I told you you're acting like a fool. And you're making this uniform a clown suit. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. You're part of the thin blue line gang. It's the truth. It's the truth. Y'all hate it, don't y'all? Y'all hate transparency, don't you? You love it? Well, guess what? The world gonna love when you told me that if I don't answer your questions, it's illegal. They're gonna love that one. No, you told them. You told them. You told them. You already told them. You're working in your official capacity, and you told me every morning, hold you accountable every morning. To hold you accountable every morning. Right. Well, I'm just waiting for you to walk off because you're dismissed. Right. Oh my God. You're done with me right now, right? You got no more to do with me, right? I'm trying. Well, why did you engage me? What would you engage me for? You kept asking me what's up, come talk to me, what's going on. Now you ain't got no rap. You got no rap. You ain't got no rap. You ain't got no rap now. You ain't got no. Exactly. You wanted to talk. You came to me asking me who was up. And who was that? I already got my content and I followed him to the car. And I followed you to the car. You gonna walk around with you? You smell like alcohol. You smell like alcohol. You smell like alcohol. Have you violated anybody's rights? Don't you create stuff. You told me it was doing. Is that your vehicle right there? Is that your vehicle right there? Is that your vehicle? Stop parked in a no stop and no standing. Huh? Tell me. You're the public servant. I'm the master. You're the public servant. I'm the master. You're the public servant. You might want to get out the street, officer. That's a little dangerous right there. You might want to get out the street. Don't want to obstruct traffic. So once again, is that your vehicle parked over there? Yeah, I'm still talking. I can talk. I can talk. I can talk. What you gonna do? Exactly. Exactly. But staying here looking silly. That's what you get paid to do, stand around? Stand around, huh? Stand around, huh? Oh, don't talk like that. Yo, do not talk like that. You are working in your official capacity. Do not be using no curse words while you're working in your official capacity. Stay professional and honor your oath. I'm telling you what you should do. Don't be cursing out in public while you're in your official capacity. How about that? I just told you what to do. I just told you what to do. Wait till your superior sees this. I'm going to see how happy he's going to be about that. I'm going to see how happy he's going to be about that. I bring it to all officers. I bring it to all officers because there's no good cop. So you telling me also I need to bring it to the white cops? You said you know what I'm saying. That's what you're saying? I just came from across the PD headquarters. You need to keep on walking and stop letting your ego take over you. Oh, you want to do something so bad, don't you? You want to do something so bad, don't you? I know.
You gotta go bring it to the prosecution.
Check out my YouTube page, Boston Artists, The Resistance. I just came from headquarters last week. I just came from the Federal Reserve. There are no good police. Even if he never violated anybody's rights, he's still complicit because he knows the fellow officer that has. There are no good cops. Guys just standing around, huh? You still on this call? Huh? Let's get back to that illegal thing where you said if I don't answer your questions, it's illegal. Let's get back to that. I need you to explain something. No cell phone usage, so you're working in your official capacity right now. No cell phone usage. Please put your phone away. Could you please put your phone away? Put your phone away, man. I'm telling you now, put your phone away. You're working in your official capacity. Put your phone away. Put your phone away, bro. Wow. You're working in your official capacity and using your cell phone. You want a break right now? You want a break right now? I don't think you are. Put your phone away, man.
Shout out to me, Back Mel, 1804. What up, bro?
Yeah, did you enforce the law and tell your phone co-partner to put that phone away? Put that phone away? Can you let him know that? He's not on break right now. He should put his phone away. There's no cell phone usage during your official capacity. Might as well listen to your partner and go take that walk. Why you keep following behind me? Why you keep standing behind me? Every time I turn around, you itching up behind me. What's that about? You armed. I'm not armed. You fear for your safety? I can sit to a pat down. You want to pat me down? You fear for your safety? I can sit to a pat down. You still itching. Quiet now, huh? Talk all that bullshit about being illegal for not answering a cop question. Then you got no right. This is the only way you're going to stop me from doing this. I'm going to tell you this like I told every other officer, especially in the Boston Police headquarters. I'm going to tell you this. You don't like transparency, the only way you're going to stop me is by putting a bullet in my head. That's the only way you're going to stop if you don't like this transparency. Because I'm going to hold y'all accountable every day. every day. White, black, red, green. I don't care what color y'all is. I don't care what color y'all are. Y'all cops. And y'all corrupt. This guy, he keep walking behind me. So if you want to know what's going on, I'm holding transparency. I'm holding transparency on the Boston PD, and I'm holding them accountable. He's not going to educate you on what I'm doing. Okay? He's not going to educate you on what I'm doing. What's this for? I just told you, I'm holding police officers accountable, and I'm showing transparency. For instance, for what? Because the community needs to be educated as far as the corruption that goes on within Boston with the police. For example, this man just told me that if I don't answer his questions, it's illegal. That's a lie. Because he wanted to get my name. He asked me what was my name. I told him I'm not answering any questions. Sir, what part don't you understand? I hold police officials accountable. I show transparency. For what? They're here to help us. Wow.
Shout out Mind Elevation TV. What up, bro?
Wow. They do. Wow. Wow. 64 years. Wow. Wow. And then, wait a minute. So you're 64 years old. So let me ask you a question. When you were a child, you were bust to Charlestown in school, right? No. You weren't part of that group? But you remember when they were busted, when they were being bust. Okay, so you come up in that era. So you telling me that really? You believe that? It's better. You believe that these cops have changed? Yeah. Okay. Well, from the 60s to now? Okay. All right. 60s to now? All right, you don't look at the news, huh? I watch the news every day. Okay. I'm out here every day. So every contact that police do, you believe that the person who was arrested or beaten up was in the wrong, huh? Well, not even 60s. Whoa. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I said, I'm out there. I know all the guys, all the people. I'm 64. I can go to the theater. I know everything. Not everything, not everything. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's another member of the community brainwashed, believing that these cops are good. I wish you could get educated, brother, and really know what's going on. I really wish you could get educated and know what's going on. Okay. Okay. I got little soldiers, 14 and 15. Wow. I got 3 and 4 school and we go school. Come see that. Where you at, bro? 840 Blue Hill Ave. I'll be there. 840 Blue Hill Ave, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember that. I will be there. He said he got 13 and 14-year-old soldiers. Hopefully in a positive way. I will be there. How many rights have you violated during the course of your career? He's quiet, ladies and gentlemen. He had all the rank when he came up in the beginning. He had everything to say, including telling me that if I don't answer his questions, it's illegal. How many times you discharged your service weapons this year? How many complaints do you have against you? Is this the reason why you walk in the beat for so many years? Because you do have so many complaints against you? Now see, all I did was come over here and question about this vehicle being illegally parked on the pavement. Well, what happens, I get you two to come walk around me, surround me. I get you telling me if I don't answer your questions, it's illegal. What kind of business you got, brother? What kind of business you got? Black House Entertainment, man. I'm the spook that sat by the door for real. And what you do with the kids, bro? I train them. You train them to do what? Around, man. As far as what? Mentally, boxing, physically? People when they hit the system first. That's what's up. Teach them before they hit the system. That's what's up, bro. That's what. Let's go back. Listen, do you mind if I come to your sister? Can I schedule an appointment? Can I schedule an appointment with you? Man, come to your business so I can get good advertisement with your business. You want to give me a personal tour? Man, I'll take you through the whole history about this. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We all did that.
Shout out to Necessary Change 777.
That's not. I I'm still a leader. I've been through the jail system, all that. Daddy, better name all the top-notch brothers. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, bro. And I'm dealing with brothers in jail right now. Walpole, same as Jamal. The AACP, we doing a whole lot of moving. We need a little space, man. We keep it moving, dealing with a whole lot of this. Right now, there's a lot of people being blocked. We got a lot of grand crackers up in there now. It's not them no more. They can sit down. I don't even have to wear the suits no more. You know, sit on the sheets. Hey, bro, I'm gonna give you a call, man. Set an appointment with you, bro. Let him know. I want to show the good that's happening in this community. Far from knowing, we was 4 corners and past again. Okay. But you know, a lot of my brothers still out here in the gang, locked up, man, in the mine. Well, listen, let me tell you what I was doing. I was over here and I observed this car right here, right? It's illegally parked on the pavement. Just because they can do that. No, they can't do that, brother. They can't do that. I'm gonna tell you about the system, man. They can't do that. Mr. Rothschild, once you join that, let me finish. The whole thing, let me finish. And my grandfathers and uncles will tell you from the beginning, from the Irish and Holland when it was cops in the slave catchers. Back in the days, we wanted black cops. When we got black cops, they became corrupt. But something, no, there's some strong ones. They're not corrupt. But they're still complicit. Listen, bro. Let me tell you something. Bro. Now, I'll let you speak. Now, let me tell you something. There's no such thing as a good cop. Even if this cop or this cop didn't violate anybody, when they finish talking, bro.
Shout outs to Mr. Imperial.
Even if this cop and that cop didn't violate anybody's rights, they know of a fellow officer that did, so it makes them complicit. Okay, wait a minute, let me finish. So as I was observing this car illegally parked on the pavement, this gentleman came up to me and started asking me questions. He told me that if I don't answer his questions, it's illegal. So that's why I'm still conducting this. You ain't gotta learn that law. What I'm saying is, he's telling me it's illegal to get help, to get me to give him my information. That's his tactic. I'm on the pavement. You're out.
Shout out Mr. Bloody Wolf Guy.
I'm on the pavement. That'll be his case. That'll be his case right there. Can I break it down to you so you can understand how it is? When they become, there's 2 types of laws, really. But when you become an officer, we skip brothers. I know a whole bunch of brothers that was on the force back in the day. Like right now, we got a lot of tokens. Hear me out, so you know. No, I'm hearing you, bro. But this is the asshole who called the cops on me the other day. That's who he was going to get me locked up. Bro, keep walking. Go to work. But I'm just saying the way it is. Go to work. I understand where you're coming, but if you want to get that, let's do this kind of stupid walk. Oh, I do that as well. You gotta move. I dig you, and that's cool what you're doing. But there's other ways because they don't want you like that. They killed a lot of our leaders, a lot of our sisters going, man. You gotta understand it. I need you, man. Come to my spot. I'll be there, bro. Check me out. I know where you coming from. Check me out. The resistance. Girls, how you doing, bro? I know how you doing. I know.
And as y'all know, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who followed me in the early days, I followed up on this gentleman, and I never received a call back.
Oh, man. I'm good. To be on the force, you should know what we call him a show. I just know about PIGS. Yeah, well. But come to me, man. They still our brothers, though. They still our brothers, but guess what? They on the wrong side. You see that right there? You see that thin blue line right there? Do you see that thin blue line? That represents the gang. That represents the gang. It's always, when we was going on 4 corners, they looked at us. They never looked at us. They looked at us. We was the gang. That gang title came in when the Chinese came in and started making. Come on, man. Take the picture. Don't be sneaky about it. Just pull it out and take it. That shit, you know. Take it out. Don't be slick about it, man. Y'all good? Oh, hey, you see that new drug thing that got up in Grove? Yeah, I was there yesterday. I did an audit there. See if they're gonna rock the brothers little kids to sleep. When you start up smoking weed, opens up that mind. And they start thinking. I deal with a lot of kids that got bodies that dropping each other. Right. So I'm trying to turn around. When they start rapping, they get to know each other, they become cool. We need to get all the brothers that who have license to carry. You know what I'm saying? And retrain. You know what I'm saying? To go the right way. We just need to get things right, man. Because our community, it was all blacks here. And when I first came to Boston, when I was living down Fenway, you couldn't get the doors at the Rockford and my fathers and uncles. They was all with the Panthers, the Mamas, and all of that. I seen it in the store. I seen how the way it is. The Man Menino effect says he was in Hyde Park throwing bricks at us. When he came there, he said, I'm going to rebuild this. But it wasn't for us. You see how it is. We had Chuck Turner in office, Diane Wilkerson, Chauvin'S, we had all of them. He said, I'm going to get rid of them. But they took the bait. You understand? You see what I'm saying? Took the bait. This here game was, after the Panthers, they said, there will not be no more black messiahs unless we make them. So when they got Obama in office, when he signed, it's a lot of shit that you need to know so we can get down on it. Before I don't want you to get jammed up because I've been there. Yo, I got soldiers, dog. I got soldiers on stand. For real, look me up, man. I've been in the system. Whoa,
hey, listen, bro, I want to set up a video with you. I want to, come take a tour of what you got going on so I can experience that through the video. See how to get with my boy Benzino? Right. I'm out. Hey, clean up. I love y'all. All right, y'all, so that concludes this video. I was told no that this car wouldn't be moved off the pavement, and it's still here. So, even the sergeant told me that it wouldn't be moved. 9515, B2 District, Boston Police. Any last words from the clown? This clown moved off the pavement, and it's still here. So, even the sergeant told me that it wouldn't be moved. 9515, B2 District, Boston Police. Any last words from the clown? This clown told me it was illegal to not answer his questions, ladies and gentlemen. You can't censor my speech. You can't censor my speech. Right, I know it is. Because you lied to me and you tried to get information from me by telling me it was illegal to not answer your questions. I'm not a fool. You tried to fool me, you tried to play me, and I'm letting you know that was a clown move that you made. I'm not stupid.
Shout outs to Necessary Change 777, Earl Pike, Freethinker 59, Loke Weymouth UK, OG Perfect Sense, Mr. Buddy Wolf Guy, Mr. Imperial, Crazy Fist, Level Eyes to See, Spooky Press on Free, Wolfie Gladney, Mind Elevation TV, Coco Boo, appreciate y'all. Scotsman Cooper, Jason Finch, Amana Gold Trust, Terry Lee, Jet 888, appreciate y'all. Till next time, it's the Resistance.